but its passengers and crew were already doomed.
And those are, of course, the last few seconds recorded from the cabin of the Cubana flight. And today we are taking time as we look at a week of tribute to the fallen, October 6, 1976. Its journey from terror to love and life. And we really want to say a special good morning to our guests. I mentioned moments ago, we have the son of the pilot of that airplane, Mr. Jose Pertiera. He, of course, sorry, let me just get the name right, Dr. Wilfredo Perez Rodriguez, and with us this morning, who will also assist with the interpretation for Mr. Rodriguez, we have Mr. Orestes Hernandez, Consular Officer at the Cuban Embassy. Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Perhaps you can, take us through what this still means for Cuba and persons affected by this as we reflect on the 35th anniversary of that crash.
Okay, as you said before when you were introducing the whole thing, that terrible act affecting not only Cuba but also across the whole Caribbean. Mm-hmm. 73 people were killed that time. Some Guyanese, young Guyanese that were supposed to start their study of medicine in Cuba, and another group of North Korean citizens that were also traveling, and some other people that were going to Cuba, and in that regular flight that time. So it means that that terrible day, as the Prime Minister has just said a few days ago, Barbados and the whole Caribbean was introduced into the terrorism even 25 years before the 9/11 death. So it means that while the maybe rest of the world knew about terrorism after the 9/11, the Caribbean was affected by that time. So 35 years after that, we think that it is important to give tribute to those who fought in that day, and then that's why together with a group of prominent organizations and institutions and individuals there in Barbados, we, from the Cuban Embassy and the Embassy of Venezuela here in Barbados, we decided to make this week of tribute, which is a very touched moment, especially having this special guest here in Barbados. As you mentioned at the beginning, we are going to have some events. Especially I want to mention the Solidarity Movement, who are the ones who have been invited with Fredo to stay here in Barbados. We're going to have this event on Saturday evening. Also, we will have a special moment at the university next Friday from 10 to 1, where it's going to be discussed among lecturers the teachings of this situation. And also we will have, of course, the official tribute next October the 6th at the monument, at the Cubana Monument in Pains Bay. We are calling to all of those that consider that this situation was affected at the whole Caribbean to attend next Thursday at 9:30 a.m. And we will have also an important event, which is that prominent representative of the artistic community here in Barbados are going to give us a concert on tributes of the victims next
Friends
Sunday.
of Cuba.
Yeah, Friends of Cuba against terrorism. It's going to be on Sunday evening at 7, and also we will have another important event on October the 10th with the students of the university. We're going to up a documentary about the whole things regarding the situation. So it means that as memory is an important element in the history of the people, we consider, and then we are doing this week of tribute, and also we would like to thank all of the Barbarian Society to help us and also to be with us in this commemoration.
Okay, Dr. Wilfredo Perez Rodriguez, welcome. I'm assuming that you may have heard what we just heard before. It's the voice of your father announcing that there was an explosion on board. How does that make you feel when you hear it?
35 years later.
Sí, siento siempre cuando oigo la voz de mi papá, siento una profunda tristeza.
Anytime I heard that the voice of my father, I feel very sad, a deep sad on my heart.
Me imagino los momentos tan terribles por los que vivió, ¿no?
So I imagine those seconds in plane, not only my father, but also the rest of the people, but especially my father, was those difficult moments when he was trying to do, whatever he could.
Y vivo muy orgulloso porque sé que se portó como un hombre valiente, tratando de salvar el avión a toda costa.
I am very proud of my father because even with that moment, he did the best he could to try to save the plane and also the passengers.
How did that affect your family when that occurred? I mean, I know it's hard to probably relive those moments, but how did that news of your father's valiant effort, but still his ultimate demise, affect your family?
¿Cómo afectó a la familia, no? Es decir, fue un golpe muy grande para toda la familia.
It was a very huge and important, very hard hit to my family. I mean, my family was very affected by that.
Pero en ese momento sentimos una cosa muy importante.
But at that moment, we felt a very important thing.
Que es que fue un dolor compartido por todo el pueblo de Cuba.
It was a pain shared by the whole Cuban people.
Es decir, sentimos la solidaridad de toda la gente.
We felt the solidarity not only our neighborhood, but also the whole Cuban people that came into us.
Y como dijo el presidente Fidel Castro,
So as the president at that time, President Fidel Castro said,
era un dolor que se compartía entre todo el pueblo cubano.
it was a pain shared by the Cuban people itself.
Incluso mucha gente lloraba más que nosotros.
Even I saw people crying even more than my family.
Y eso compensó el dolor
Then
que sentíamos.
that situation compensated, the pain that we have felt as a family.
How did it impact on what you decided to do with your life?
¿Cómo impactó eso en lo que tú decidiste hacer en tu vida?
Ese hecho significó algo como un impulso para mi vida.
It meant like a impulse, to do what I would like to do in my life.
No, siempre pensé que no debía quedarme en el trauma, en el sufrimiento de ese hecho.
I always thought that I am not the right to stay in my pain. I have to do something from that point ahead.
Y que debía hacer algo para mí en lo personal, pero también para contribuir a mi país, ¿no?
And I was supposed to do something not only for me, but also for the rest of the people that was around me.
Por eso me dediqué a la profesión que tengo ahora.
That's why I decided just to study psychology,
Y para ayudar a la gente que
to
necesita
help
mucho.
others.
Yeah.
So I thought that the best thing that I could do at that time is just to try to help others.
Help others deal with their pain as well.
Sí, mucha gente que también seguramente tenía
También
dolor.
dolores, pérdidas también
Yeah, they have
importantes.
lost relatives,
Yeah.
different pains, as you said.
So is this, we can call off certain events around the world that get a lot of prominence, Pan Am, over Lockerbie, like you said, the Twin Towers. Do you think that this event has been given the sort of prominence that it should have been given?
No, I think that this event, which is, let me tell you, that was the first time in the Western Hemisphere
Terrorist attack.
that a civilian aircraft was blown up by a terrorist attack. So it means that Caribbean, which is a very peaceful region, region, maybe this ad has not been put in the right level. So we understand that the pain of lost relatives is the same thing, not only here in the Caribbean, but in the Asia and everywhere. But in that case, it is something that is behind, and which is, while the rest of the world is combating the terrorism, the guy who was the mastermind of this action, and also another dozen of action against not only Cuba but also different countries in the hemisphere, is still free. So the Cuban people, the only thing that we ask, and also the relatives of those who fallen that day, has been to get the justice. So revenge is not part. It is not part of the Cuban history. So we have been trying to keep in our memories all those who fallen that day, but there are more than 3,000 Cubans that have lost their life as part of victims of
Right.
this policy.
We literally have like 2 minutes left, but I would like you to say something on this, the fact that perhaps after that attack on the Cubana aircraft, your relationship, Cuba's relationship with the U.S. became strained, and it seems like things are changing in terms of the embargo that exists. So do you want to say anything?
The situation it didn't start with that fact, let me tell you. Even before Fidel Castro declared the socialist character of the revolution, we began to feel this policy. That is an official policy from the U.S., the Mongoose operation that started in the early '59. So it means the whole policy, which is the blockade, is an important part, but terrorism is another important part.
Yeah.
It's part of the whole thing.
All right, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the program. I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Orestes Hernandez, for coming by, and to you, Dr. Wilfredo Perez Rodriguez. We're very happy to have you here.
Honored.
We can't imagine what your family must have gone through, but we're happy that you're here. And we look forward to attending some of the events that mark this occasion. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Barbados,
Gracias.
have a good one today. It's raining, but be safe.
Please. Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow.
Talented sculptor Carl